Question 39. Let's read the sentence as is. A person's show, specifically, quite literally, depends on your own particular movements. We have specifically, similarly, therefore, or however. Well, you should recognize those as transition words. And if you don't, you definitely want to write that down. And it's a particular category. And each of these words belong into one of 8 categories. And these categories are broad, such as cause and effect, compare, contrast, something like that. And we want to figure out what each of these words, which category each of these words belong to. And if you forget, you can always use the mnemonic I before E, except after C. And hopefully that will help you remember. Next, after we've done that, we want to read one sentence above. Now, why do we read a sentence above? Well, that's because the transitional word or phrase would be transitioning from some idea. We want to know what that idea is, so we need to read the sentence prior. After that, we will read the current sentence, but without reading the transitional word or phrase that is there. That's because it might color a judgment. We want to determine for ourselves, in step 3, determine for yourself what type of transition you think belongs there, and then choose the appropriate answer. All right, so why don't you pause the video, try these steps on your own, and then we'll walk through it together. First step, answer choice A, specifically. Well, specifically is an example, so it's an illustration. Similarly, well, that's like comparing, comparatively. Therefore, that would be cause and effect. And however, that is a qualifier. So it's qualifying, or you can say an exception, right? They mean the same thing. Next, let's read the sentence prior. Actors drew the spectators in by making eye contact, touching someone's arm, or beckoning someone to follow them to a new location. So it's really giving us specific ways in which the actors draw the spectators in. Using eye contact, touching their arm, beckoning them, which means calling them to come over. And then what happens? Well, it says a person's show quite literally depends on your own particular movements. So you want to take a moment, pause, and figure out what type of transition best fits in between here. And remember, you have 8 categories, so you can go through them in your head. And so they're telling us specifically what happens, and then they're saying that quite literally, the movements will affect the show. So that must be cause and effect. And so which answer choice gives us cause and effect? Right, that would be answer choice C, therefore. So this is definitely not going to be an example. In fact, it's the sentence prior, if anything, that would give us examples of specific instances of things. It's not similarly, right? We're not having similar points. And it's not, however, right? It's not an exception, not a qualifier. Answer choice C. First step, categorize the words. You can use the mnemonic if you forget the categories. Second step, read one sentence prior and then the current sentence, making sure not to read the underlined word. And step 3, determine your own category, right? This is very important for you to analyze it and then ensure you get the correct answer. Thank you.